Hello, I am Tilini Gabriel from Entrepreneur MD, and welcome again to a segment of Education on Air. I am here today with no stranger to us, Mr. Narayan Arul Raja, CEO of Equa Marketing, and today he will be talking about international marketing overview for accountants. People buy, selling doesn't work. This presentation is for accountants. We will also discuss internet marketing as a whole, even beyond marketing to doctors. After Naren completes his presentation, there will be a discussion segment, and I will forward some questions from the audience to him. If you have any questions, you can use the Q&A bubble on the left of the video and post your questions. Hi Naren and welcome. It's over to you, Naren.
Thank you very much, Tilini. I do appreciate the opportunity today to be talking to our 30,000 plus accountants who we work with. And in terms of what we're going to cover today, the topic is Internet Marketing Overview. People buy, selling doesn't work. As you know, Internet marketing is a pretty large field, so this will be the first in a series of webinars, and it'll give you a very thorough, high-level overview of how to think about Internet marketing and the different parts of it. And like Tilini mentioned, the audience that we are trying to talk to today is accountants. Accountants, and even though our experience comes from working with doctors, the topic today would be more than just about marketing to doctors. Rather, how would you do internet marketing overall, and how would you use that to your advantage to grow your business? Before I get started, let me spend a couple of minutes just introducing myself and telling you my journey, so you kind of know where I'm coming from. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I guess my claim to fame is I got fired 4 times in a row before I decided that I can't work for somebody else and started my own business. That happened, I guess, in 2001. So in 2002, I became an entrepreneur, I guess, end of 2001 and early 2002. Since I have started several businesses, currently the 2 primary businesses I work with are Equa Marketing and Entrepreneur.md, and we have a combined team of 150 full-time staff. And as a serial entrepreneur, I know one of the key lessons I learned is to succeed in business, you need to provide a valuable service, and you need to try to be the best at it, and then you need to communicate it. And if you do that, your business will grow. Even though it sounds simple, it's obviously a lot of hard work and a lot of lessons learned. So all this that I'm going to share with you is pretty much based on everything I have learned and my team of 150 people have learned over the last 10, 12 years around internet marketing and how to make it work for you. So the first slide is adapt your strategies to thrive in a web-centric world. Why do I have this slide? What am I trying to make say here? I think the first and the most important point that I want to get across is the world used to be a very different place before Google and the internet came along. What I mean is, prior to Google, which is approximately 15 years ago, people did not have information at their fingertips. People had to, pretty much rely on ads that they see, whether a radio they're listening to, or billboard they see, or yellow pages, or TV ads to learn about companies. So in that world, in the traditional world, marketing was about interrupting people, and the theory was very simple. They even gave this a name called the TV industrial complex. A company spends a lot of money advertising in media, whether it's TV or newspaper. 3 out of 100 people at any given time, the theory went, would need your services or might be thinking of switching. So it could be a car, 3 out of 100 people probably at any given time are interested in buying a car, or you're an accountant, 3 out of 100 people, the theory goes, at any given time are looking to change their accountant or find a new accountant. So the old model was, it's a numbers game. Let me get in front of as many people as I can, and 3 out of 100 who have a need today will respond to me, and I can grow my business that way. Now, that model worked because in the old world, the consumer didn't have the power, they didn't have the information to make good, smart decisions. Rather, they had no information. Even if they wanted to look you up, let's say after somebody tells them about you, there's not too many places where they can go and find out about you, your credentials, what other people think of your service, etc. Now, obviously, the world had completely changed and the power had totally shifted towards the consumer, and the consumer has the power to, pretty much do research and use that research to make up their mind. I'm sure you've heard things like 9 out of 10 people who buy cars know exactly what they want to buy, how much they're going to pay for it before they walk into a car dealership. That's the implications of the new world that we live in. So I guess it's good and it's bad. I know I used to be very frustrated hiring people to, do handiwork, but now there are so many sites where I can go up and read tons of reviews from others who have needed similar services and what they think about particular providers. So it really, really helps, in picking the right person and making the right decision. So why doesn't the traditional model work? I think it goes back to the human condition. I mean, nobody in this world wants to do something that's not in their best interest. I mean, nobody. I mean, I'm sure you heard the term, what's in it for me? So if you are going to be successful in life or business, first question I think we all need to answer is, what's in it for me? So in that world, you see it in the numbers. People use Google 6 billion times a day. Now, compared to 2007, when people use Google 1 billion times a day, what this tells us is that, when information becomes so easy and the tools become so powerful that they can pretty much give you exact answers to any question you can imagine, more and more people use it more and more. So even for a $10 meal at a nearby restaurant, you can look at the menus and look at prices and look at reviews and look at how far it is from where you are, and then go there, all in a matter of seconds or a minute or two. So if people are doing that with $10 purchases, studies show they're doing it definitely more than 95% of the time with significant purchases. I'm defining a significant purchase as something where a person would spend a few $100s to a few $1,000s or build a long-term relationships with the service provider. So this is why traditional marketing doesn't work, because when information is so easily available, the discerning customer wants to do research and use that research to make a decision. Studies show that on average, for any kind of significant purchase, like I defined it, people are looking at least 15 pieces of information before they make a decision. Now, this number 15 was less than half of that less than a year ago. And the reason for that is, as the tools become more powerful, they can ask more and more questions and get better and better answers. So the first key thing that you need to really remember is, to succeed in this internet or web-centric world, you need to stop trying to sell people, and you need to really start helping people buy your services. So really understanding what they're looking for, really being able to communicate on the things that they are interested in learning about or knowing about, and really shifting your mindset from selling to helping people buy. It's a fundamental shift. So a few years ago, the big brands and the big corporations of the world, both in the marketing space as well as the people who spend a lot of money on marketing, they got together and they formed a team, and they spent millions and millions of dollars to doing some studies to understand how consumers do things. Historically, for the longest time, marketers focused on the first moment of truth and the second moment of truth. First moment of truth is the first interaction somebody has with your business. By the way, you can Google zero moment of truth, and there are websites and tons of videos and information. So if you're curious, you can study this. So historically, if you're running a car dealership, you just have a big sign out, and and you put TV commercials and radio commercials, and enough people who are looking for cars this weekend will see your ad, and then some of them will come to see you because you had some kind of an offer. So they walk in, and then really it's all up to the salesperson. The salesperson is dealing with somebody who has pretty much no knowledge of what they want, hasn't made up their minds, and that person plays a hugely critical role in convincing that consumer or business owner to make a decision. In your case, it could be the person answering the phone, or it could be and again, it could be because people saw an ad or they responded to something and they're calling you. The second moment of truth is the actual experience, the experience of driving the car, the experience of using your accounting services, your tax services, your financial advisory services, whatever your services are, really that experience. So people realized in the old days, because information was not easily available, as long as they focused on the first moment of truth and the second moment of truth, they were fine, right? But what fundamentally changed is, since Google and since the internet, there's this new thing called the zero moment of truth, and it's happening before the first moment of truth. And the other interesting thing is, zero moment of truth is not a single moment, rather it's many, many moments. Like I talked about, people asking 15 questions when they think about finding an accountant and choosing an accountant. All kinds of questions, might be topic specific. Hey, I'm interested in new change in the tax law and how I can leverage that to save some money or to grow my business. Whatever that triggered that thought, that's how it starts. They start researching it. Or it could be that the accountant that I had is not capable of handling my needs because my business has grown, and so I need to find somebody else who's able to handle my needs now. So it could be something like that. Or it could be a dentist saying, what, I know my business is unique and I want to find an accountant who specializes in working with dentists or who has a lot of dental clients, so he really understands my business and he can not only do my taxes and my bookkeeping and so forth, but also help me become a better business person, help me make more money, help me keep more money. I'm looking for an accountant who can be my business advisor / accountant and who understands dentistry. So whatever that they're researching, they use all kinds of tools, whether it's a video they saw on a particular topic or whether it's them doing some research. And that zero moment of truth is really at the heart of internet marketing. It's about how to make sure you are showing up when people are doing research, you are engaging the right people at the right time with the right information, and then convincing them, in that 3 a.m., in that coffee shop, in that month, when they're thinking about a particular topic, that you are the person for them, so they should pick up the phone and call. So zero moment of truth is not a single moment. It's rather you thinking about all these moments where people are thinking about switching an accountant, and then being able to answer the questions, be helpful, be useful in that process. But remember, you're not doing it one-on-one. You're doing it through technology, because you might be on vacation, or you might be sleeping, and somebody might be seeing something you have done online and kind of starting to engage with you online. So that's really what the focus is of internet marketing, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that and going through that. A big part of the zero moment of truth is search engine optimization. In a nutshell, when people search for information, could be they're typing in a particular keyword, you show up more often than your competition, and you show up again and again and again for all things that you do or related things. It could be based on a new change in tax law, or it could be you answering questions that doctors seem to ask about something unique to their business. Whatever it is, you showing up when they're using search engines, let's say Google 6 billion times a day, or Bing or Yahoo, again and again near the top. Reviews are really important. 9 out of 10 people don't make significant purchase decisions without looking at what the crowd has to say. Meaning, um, people understand that one person's opinion is not as good, even if it's my own brother or my own family, compared to the opinion of 10 or 20 people who have used a particular service. So reviews play an extremely important role. You have to show up, and you have to tell a consistent story and a positive story. And also, because reviews are so critical to overall marketing, the big players on the internet like Google and Yahoo and so forth, they pay attention to how well you're doing on various review sites. And a lot of it is technical, and we'll get into that. Like, for example, something called NAP, name, address, phone number. I'll get into that a bit more detail later on, that you need to pay attention to. That really helps with SEO, for example. Mobile. I mean, we have been using mobile phones for 30 plus years, but 2007, when Apple introduced the iPhone, everything changed. Because for the very first time, human beings got used to the idea of a computer that lives with you 24 hours a day. You wake up with it, and then it helps you throughout the day. So for the very first time, computers started traveling with us, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of whether we are, with clients or whether we are, sitting in a coffee shop. So since 2007, a lot has happened. As you know, 1.5 billion people have smartphones around the world, and in the US, obviously everybody has a smartphone. Now, mobile, I'm not defining it as just phones. I'm also defining it as tablets. So technically, when people talk about mobile devices, they're talking about smartphones and tablets. So what does this mean? Recently, for the very, very first time, more people use the internet on mobile devices more than they use it on traditional desktops. And again, it goes back to convenience, right? Because the phone lives with me, it's there when I need it, at that moment. I'm talking to somebody, and he's talking about this new tax law and how he saved, or how he can grow his business by taking advantage of this law. Now, I'm talking to him, and I could just quickly Google that topic, and hey, notice your business that shows up with your video explaining that topic. So I don't have to go back home and make a note and do all that. I can do it at that very moment. So mobile is something that's extremely important, and something that we need to understand and pay attention to as marketers, because it's a huge opportunity. For example, I'm driving, and I realize that I haven't seen you, my accountant, in a long time, and I think I'm close to your place, but I don't know your office, so I haven't been there in a while. So I quickly Google it, and Google tells me that you're only 5 minutes from me, so I could just pick up the phone, and again, Google will give me your phone number right there. Just press that button and call you, and if you're free, just come by and drop by. So that's a simple example of how mobile is making a difference. Another example could be Facebook. 20% of the time people they spend on Facebook. So if you have a large following, and all of a sudden there's some kind of a person who went to jail because of tax, because he didn't file his tax properly, and it's all over the news, some famous person, then you could write a small Facebook post about that, or responding to that article, and now all of a sudden they see it, it's in their mind, and now they remember you, and they notice you, and they're like, cool, let me share it. Now when they share it, all their friends see it. Now all of a sudden that simple incident helps you engage with hundreds of people, and help them remember you, so they can talk to you about their friends, they can remember to come and see you, etc., etc., use more of your services. So there are lots of ways you can use mobile technologies, to help you with online marketing. Social media, we already talked about an example, with Facebook. LinkedIn is again a powerful tool where a lot of small business owners hang out. YouTube is a very powerful tool. As you know, it's the second largest search engine, and more than 1 billion people use it. So you could do a YouTube video on a particular topic and share it, and tweet it and put it on your Facebook and optimize it so it shows up when people search for different keywords. So again, it's one more way for you to use social media to engage people. Now, many of these slides I have, we will have standalone individual presentations, and I'll tell you the next 4 presentations I'll be doing with regards to marketing that I think you will benefit from. And those are things that, where we will go in depth into these topics. Automated marketing is a big trend, and the reason is the power of technology is you don't have to do things one by one. You could have 3,000 people in your database. The computers can be smart enough to know that people are different and respond to each person differently. So, for example, if somebody downloads an article about how you helped a dentist grow his business by 20%, you know what? You don't want to share. You may want to follow up with something else specific to doctors, as opposed to sending them some unknown fact, nothing to do with doctors, and confusing them. So the point of automated marketing is the computers and the technologies can help you fine tune what you're doing with 2,000 people without you doing it 2,000 times one by one. So some of these bubbles I'm going to take a couple of minutes to explain. Web analytics, it's about Google Analytics and Facebook Analytics. There's all kinds of analytics, and having helped clients for the last 8-10 years, one of the things I'm proud of is that 90% of our clients stay with us every year, which is kind of unheard of in the internet marketing space. The reason they do that is because we use a lot of analytics to connect the dots all the way to profits and revenues. Because if you don't use analytics and if you don't connect the dots, you'll be doing a ton of stuff, but you won't see the maximum results. So my vision for my clients is, how do I help my clients keep growing their business? How do I help my clients beat their competition and stand out? CRM integration is the other thing. So how do you integrate with all these marketing efforts with your CRM tools? And again, you don't need to use Salesforce, which could be expensive. You could even use open source or like almost very cost-effective programs that are very good for even a few dollars a month, like $2 to $3 a month per user. Email marketing, it's part of automated marketing, and it's about really getting good at using emails and using short messages to effectively engage and work with people. Lead nurturing. So remember, nobody cares about you. They care about themselves. They have a busy life. They have their set of concerns and issues they're dealing with. So lead nurturing is all about you giving them content, videos, articles, various content to help them solve their problems, talk to them about their needs. But you do it in a way where you're not doing it one-on-one, but rather you're doing it with thousands of people. So depending on their interest, you could send them different things and the computer would do all of that for you. But try to keep in mind that don't try to sell people things, sell them as little as possible. So at least 80% of the messages should be about them, educating them, helping them. 20% could be some kind of an offer, maybe inviting them for a webinar or having them come and talk to you about a particular topic that's very hot and that a lot of people are thinking about. So always focus on them and nurture the leads, nurture the database. Lead scoring. So the idea that every lead is not the same. So even though you might have 2,000 people in your database, some people have been with you for 10 years and they have read every newsletter you have ever sent, and others have only been there 2 months and they have only gone to your website without having done anything. So whatever the stage the person is at, you can score it based on what actions they took and how much each action is worth, and then based on the total score you can take different actions. One action might be, they're so well developed and they have been hearing about you and listening to you for the last few years or few months. Now you can pick up the phone and call and try to build a relationship. Or it could be that they're just still early stages, so you're just in the process of helping them get to know you and learn about you without you having to spend a ton of time one-on-one. So scoring is really important. So lead capture. What is lead capture? Lead capture is growing your database. So how do you grow your database? I'll give you an example. I wrote a book that we shared with accountants, and many accountants downloaded it. And one of the things that you will be receiving today for attending this is a copy of my book. So you don't have to pay for it. It's all yours. Just our way of saying thank you. And it's like 65 pages or so. More than 60 pages or so. And it has tons of information about how you could market online. It's my gift to you. But in a sense, one of the options is, do you want to receive newsletters from us and hear from us? If you say yes, that means we have your information and you get added to our marketing database. So that's kind of how you grow your database, and you have to obviously find creative ways to grow your database. One of the things that a few of our early accountants.md accountants have taken advantage of is, what we call a hangout on air. So they host their own hangout, just like what I'm hosting. They invite their own friends, but we will work with them to host it for them. So could be they are inviting clients of their attorneys, let's say medical clients, because this particular one is only targeting the medical community. And the more people who come to that, and then they can use that video forever and ever and ever to, as a piece of content that they can use to engage people and, get more leads and, build their automated marketing campaign. The other thing that people talk about is content marketing. Content marketing is very much related to automated marketing. It's just a new word, so I thought I'll have a slide on it. So the idea is that content is at the heart of every kind of marketing, whether it's a video or an article or an infographic, whether you're using it on your social media or your SEO efforts or your automated marketing efforts. Think about content. Think about how can I add value to somebody with useful information. You don't want to overdo it, but a single idea or a single content could be used in multiple ways, so your effort can be amplified in multiple ways. The marketing firm we have has around 120 people, and we have around 200 clients, so we put a lot of effort on behalf of our clients, doing a lot of the work and managing all the details. Now, which can be time consuming, but somebody's got to do it. So in the subsequent webinars, we'll be talking about the lessons we have learned as a company and a team on how best to do things and how best not to do things around automated marketing, around all the different topics. Analytics, like I already mentioned, it's about connecting the dots, and that's one of the reasons why 90% of our clients stay with us year after year, because if you don't connect the dots, you'll be doing a ton of stuff, but you don't know what's working, you don't know what's helping, so you might be taking one step forward and 2 steps back. So connecting the dots is important, but like anything else, once you understand it, once you get to know it, you can make it work for you. So just to summarize, the key message that I want to leave with you today is, internet marketing is about helping your market buy, not selling to them. So change that mindset of how do I sell to how do I help them buy. So it takes a different perspective, a different mindset. I know it's hard for many people, but it's really, really important to succeed in today's world. So what are the upcoming web presentations? The next one is going to be on local search. It's called Local Search, Search Engine Optimization, and Google Places. I have clients just using these techniques who get hundreds of calls. Now, some of these clients are doctors, so I'm not saying you're going to get hundreds of calls. I guess for an accountant, even if you get 2 new clients a month, that's pretty meaningful, because these clients hopefully will stay with you for a long time. So each client should be worth quite a bit of money to you. So how do you learn these techniques? How do you learn the basics of search engine optimization and Google Places to increase your business in a meaningful way? So the next presentation, 30 minutes, teaching you the techniques, what we have learned, the do's and the don'ts, and then Q&A and other forms of help. The following one is about branding. I really, really believe this is an extremely important topic. We live in a crowded world where there's so much of information. So how do people remember you? How do people, if they don't remember you, they're not going to be loyal to you. They're not going to be your client for a long time. So you're always in the mode of surviving and trying to get the next client and the next client and the next client. Now, one of the mistakes I see people make is because they don't really understand branding, and the fact that branding is about really knowing who you are and then really being who you are and then communicating who you are. So if you're an existing practice, existing accountant who has happy clients and who have had a lot of happy clients for a long time, ask 10 of your clients a simple question. Why do you keep coming back to me? Why do you keep referring me to your friends? And more than likely, they will all tell the same things. Maybe some people will say, you know what? I really trust you. You are a great business advisor. You really have helped me think about my business and think about how do I maximize profits for myself. If a lot of people keep saying that, that's one of your key attributes of your brand. The fact that you can advise people, the fact that you can look behind the numbers and help them, make sense of the numbers and grow the business. Or they might say, you know what, you're very easy to deal with. You return my calls. The last accountant I had didn't return my calls, just ignored me. I just felt like I was just, one in 1,000. There's no relationship. So whatever they keep telling you to that question, why do you keep coming back to me, is key to, branding, because that's your brand. Now, you might also want to change your brand, right? So, for example, you might not like some of the things they keep saying about you because it pushes you into more of a commodity accountant as opposed to a, long-term accountant who they see for years and who make a lot of money from and referrals from. So we'll talk a lot about branding, discovering your brand, communicating your brand, and living your brand. I really feel this is an important topic. To me, this is one of the basics of marketing. We'll have a session on reputation management and social media. Now, reputation management plays two roles. One is it's part of the overall organic marketing mix. So if you have profiles that are consistent, with regards to NAP. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. N for name, A for address, and P for phone number across various profiles. That helps you with your search engine optimization. That helps you with your standing with the big sites that send you a lot of traffic. Also, reputation management is important because, like we talked about, 9 out of 10 people will decide whether to use you or not based on what other people have to say online. So that again is something we focus on in this presentation. Social media is another topic we'll go through. Social media, what are the best social media sites for an accountant? How to use each one of them, the do's and the don'ts. One of the key lessons I like to share with my clients regarding social media is not going to grow your business in a direct way. Meaning you're not going to get new people going to Facebook or going to LinkedIn saying, hey, I need an accountant. Who is the best person for me? Most people will start researching the particular concern that's making them want to find an accountant. And then if you're the one that keeps showing up, then that's what's going to drive your business. This is why SEO and organic marketing becomes really important. But social media is a great way to stay in touch with your existing clients, and then use your existing clients to get other people to know about you. Because when you do something that's good, a high quality video, people share it like it or share it on their Facebook page. Now all of their friends see it. And obviously if one of your clients is a doctor, more than likely a lot of his or her friends are going to be other doctors. So they start seeing how you are really, helping a particular doctor, and they're like, I wish my accountant is as engaged and as, clued in as yours, so I'm going to make a phone call. So we'll talk about all of this in this presentation. Automated marketing, content marketing, and analytics. So we'll have a session dedicated to this because a lot of times people don't decide immediately. They might take months and sometimes even years to decide. So automated marketing, content marketing, and analytics talks about how do you connect your dots. How do you, over a period of years, build relationships with people and help them buy your services. And analytics talks about connecting the dots so you're not wasting money. Tileni, so I'm done with my presentation. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, thank you, Naren. That was very informative. Continuing with our discussion segment, let me start with the questions we have got this evening. And the first question that we have for you is, what is the most effective way to communicate with the doctors to stay top of mind and to educate?
So the question, if I were to repeat it, what's the most effective way to communicate and stay top of mind, right?
Yes.
Yes. I think it goes back to the fundamentals. The fundamentals being, remember, it's not about selling, it's about helping people. So in that context, what are some of the questions that people are having today or your group of customers are having today? Obviously, if you're targeting a lot of doctors, then, talk about how a particular doctor, reduced his expenses by 20% or grew his top line by 10% because of the way you helped him think about his business and make some wise decisions. So there could be a case study on that. Or another example could be, there's something happening external, like maybe some kind of a law or something that's happening in the external world that if a client could take advantage of a small business owner, now they can leverage that. And also, like I said, search engine optimization is critical because when I have a need this moment, I'm not going to sit here and buy a database of accountants and go through every accountant and call every accountant and pick the right one. I'm going to start doing research, and the one I keep seeing again and again is the one that's going to stick in my mind, and the chances are only top 2 or 3 will be the ones who just stand out for me, and I'll end up probably picking one of them. So I do think that's another strategy you should really focus on.
Okay, Naren, let me give you the second question. What are the best ways to get new clients through online marketing?
Yeah, so I mean, you have to do the basics, right? So the basics being, do you have a good website? Is it showing up when people are looking for every keyword you can think of? I mean, for an accountant, I would target at least 100 keywords. And do you have good reviews? Are your reviews showing up, when people Google your name or your business name? Do you have at least a basic social media strategy to engage people and be in top of mind? Do you have a basic newsletter that goes out to people? So I would definitely start with the basics, and I'll make sure those basics are covered. Now, we do this for our clients, and I know it takes a lot of time. So minimum we put 20 hours in some cases, and in other cases 35 hours a month. And a lot of the work, we kind of do it behind the scenes for our clients, obviously with their input and their brand in mind. So, I mean, find somebody, or you dedicate the time to do it yourself. You have to have the basics covered. In a world of hyper competitiveness, you don't want to be the one that somehow gets lost in the noise. You want to be the one that somehow stands out and somehow people notice when they have a need and when they're looking for things.
Okay, we have a few more questions, Naren, and I'll give you the third question. How is your marketing program different than advertising via Google?
Yeah, I mean, I fundamentally believe that marketing is about helping somebody buy, and the problem with ads is Google wants everybody's money, so obviously you can't be everywhere every time, and you can't control when Google is going to show the ad. Because you have a budget, and once your budget runs out, Google will show somebody else's budget, unless you have like $100,000 huge budget and unlimited funds, which I don't suggest you do, because then you will end up spending more than you make. I think Google shouldn't be your primary strategy, Google Ads. The reason being, Google Ads work really well for somebody who's really solid in marketing. Even Google will tell you this, meaning who has a good website, who has good reviews, who has very decent social media and newsletters, and who is showing up for many things and people's kind of like. Then Google Ads as a additional thing is awesome. But when you don't have your basics, when you're not doing the fundamentals, just doing ads is not really a good use of money or time.
Thank you, Naren. We'll go on to this. We have another question, the fourth question. What kind of contents do doctors want to see online from an accounting firm?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing you want, right? I mean, you are looking at content about, growing your business. You are trying to learn about marketing. So ask the same question. If a doctor is interested in engaging you, what are some of the questions you can answer, you can help with? And it could be about you sharing ideas and thoughts or experiences on you helping specific doctors on specific issues. Obviously, you can get rid of the names, but talk about those things. Create an infographic, do a video. That's, I think, really powerful. Really get your hands dirty and help doctors, and then share your experiences helping them. Share your wisdom. because now that resonates with somebody and now they want to talk to you because they're like, bingo, I wish I can do this and get the same benefit, maybe saving money or making more money that the other dentist got. And again, have a plan around it. So a lot of people just do it once and then they forget about it and then they say nothing's happening. You have to be in front of people because, like you, they aren't just sitting there doing nothing. They have their whole life. So you have to kind of stay in front of them. So keep having a calendar, repeating things, or doing different things on an ongoing basis. They're all critical, in your marketing.
Okay, we'll go on with the next question. What social media website is the best for accounting? LinkedIn seems very limited. Facebook can only reach so many. And Twitter occupies a lot of time because you have to tweet when people might be on lunch or even on social media for that matter.
Yes, I'm going to share with you everything I've learned over the last 10 years in answering this question. Number one, social media is not going to help you find new clients. So don't put more than 5% of your money, your efforts into social media. Okay, so that's number one thing. So instead of trying to do social media because that's the buzzword and everybody else is doing it, keep in mind, if your goal is to get new clients, social media is not going to help you in a big way. So don't put a lot of your energies into it. 5 to 10% is all you should focus. Number two, social media does play an important role. It plays two important roles. One is by being in front of your current customers, your fans, you are engaging them and they're engaging back with you and their friends see it. Also, this reminds them to, come back and see you or, for a friend and so forth, right? So it's a way to use your existing relationships to grow your business without you doing things one-on-one. That's a powerful tool with social media. The second thing that I've seen people use is a lot of big decisions in life. Let's say somebody decides to, get some tax advice, is tied to life events. Somebody gets married, they might be interested in thinking about their retirement, or somebody's kid goes to school. Now the way they look at money is changing and they're thinking about, something else. So somebody has a baby. So social media is a great way to understand what's happening with your clients. Obviously, by acknowledging it, say somebody had a baby, sending them a small gift or just calling them and talking about their baby and wishing them well and so forth is a great way to build amazing relationships. But also it could also open up conversations that could lead to other services that you could offer or provide to your clients. So that's the other second use of social media. So social media is a very smart, intelligent system that tells you what's going on with your clients that you could use to either build relationships or talk about new things. The third role of social media is because social media is so much part of our culture, people like Google and all the other big search engines and so forth look at social media signals in deciding who should rank and who shouldn't. So there's a basic level of social media you have to engage in if you want to do well in SEO and if you want to do well with organic marketing. So don't spend too much time tweeting and retweeting because I've yet to see any clients say I got new clients from my Twitter feed. But it's one way to again engage people and stay in touch and also send the likes of Google the right signals so you keep showing up for more and more and more keywords.
Okay, we have 3 more questions, Naren, and we'll go with the next question. How would you market a specific service? For example, if it is a special pension plan that is just for doctors?
That's a great question. In my experience, having worked with clients for more than 7 years and doing all their marketing for them, I see people take one of two approaches. One is they do the local marketing, like I talked about, the website, the SEO, the social media, the newsletter, the reputation, and then mention this as one of those things. So locally people find them and locally people learn about it. Then I've also seen others who create a dedicated website. So for example, an accountant who deals specifically with dentists could create a website or a blog specifically talking about his experience with dentists and the kind of things he has done. And then he might have a social media page for that, a Facebook page just for that topic. He might have a newsletter just for that topic. He might, add content for just for that topic. And again, in our case, for our clients, we do 95% of the work, and they're just, at a high level approving things and, providing high level input. So that's the second approach. So either you can just treat it as a small piece of your overall local efforts, or you could create a dedicated marketing campaign idea plan around becoming or being seen as the expert. Another thing you could do if you want to be seen as an expert, write a book, give a talk, give lots of talks. So those are all things you could do using the second approach. And find the right partners to work with. So you don't have to do a lot of the work, because this can take a lot of work and a lot of effort. So you don't want to get burnt out by this.
Okay. And we have another question. How is online marketing to a doctor different than marketing to an attorney?
Well, it's a great question. I think marketing, all these people are small business owners, right? Attorneys, doctors, the plumber, a lot of your clients are small business owners. So there's going to be a lot of common things that apply to all of them. So obviously from that standpoint, in building a business locally, you could remember that. I mean, SEO is an SEO is an SEO, right? A doctor is going to be searching for things, so is an accountant. I mean, so is an attorney. So on the common stuff, I would say, there are certain best practices, use it. Now, on the specific things, again, the content will change. Just like I gave you the example of how you can use your experience, let's say, helping doctors and sharing that through content, videos, infographics, articles. You could, do the same thing for attorneys. If you have helped attorneys and you have done certain things, talk about it. Obviously, without sharing names, share the case studies, share the experiences, share the videos, teach them, educate them. So, really understand their business and how you can make a difference for them, and then share that, talk about it.
Okay, we have one more question for you, Naren. Any specific deductions or strategies that apply to doctors when comparing to other businesses that you know, or can you point to any books, e-books that address this?
So can you repeat the question?
Yes. Any specific deductions or strategies that apply to doctors when comparing to other businesses that you know of, or can you point us to any books or e-books that address this?
Absolutely. So everybody who attended this meeting, they will get a free copy of 8 Steps to Dominating Internet Marketing that I wrote. So, as a thank you for your time and you attending it. In terms of other books, I would definitely research Zero Moment of Truth and read up on it, watch videos on it, really understand, web-centric marketing. Also, I would, if you have a lot of time, learn about search engine optimization. Again, you have the upcoming webinars that are coming up. There are 5 more on search engine marketing and automated marketing and various topics I went through. So attend those. We'll be sending you more information about those. Also, accountants.md currently reaches 30,000 plus accountants, and we spend a lot of time creating content, whether it's infographics or articles, teaching accountants how to think about marketing and how to grow their marketing online. So obviously, leverage that. We send newsletters, so obviously read that. So I mean, I think there's so much information out there. So I mean, if you really want to become a student and really, learn about it, just start digging in, some of the things I just mentioned today.
Thank you, Naren. And Naren, before you go, could you Could you spend some time talking about how accountants can leverage entrepreneur MD and accountant MD to grow their practice? And I know many of these resources are free for accountants.
Yeah, absolutely. So Entrepreneur.md reaches around 200,000 plus doctors. We have newsletters that doctors get every 2 weeks. You can create a profile. We have around 60 accountants who have already taken advantage of this and created profiles. It's we are offering a special deal. If you write back to our team and they will give you some, some information on it. It's pretty much, pennies per day. You can create your profile and you can start building a reputation and a profile online. So, once you have the profile, start sharing information. So you can write articles, you can share documents you have already created that might be relevant to doctors. All that is part of the program, so you don't have to pay anything extra or anything. You can also, have us do a hangout on air for you. I think we're only doing that for the first few hundred people or so, like first 100 people or so. So we will host a meeting like this, and then we will give you the video recording. So it's a great way for you to not only, get in front of a lot of people, but also use that video for a long time to come as a tool to engage people and build relationships with people. So, so those are some of the things, and also we have tons of, webinars are coming up, for more webinars plus, lots of content. So, leverage all of that and use it. So, and all the webinars are free, and if you want a copy of my book, we'll send it to you again at no cost to you. So, we'll try to help as much as possible in helping you grow your business through both accountants.md and entrepreneur.md.
Thank you, Naren. Thank you for your time spent with us. And we have to say goodbye to you, Naren. Thank you very much. And thank you to all for joining in on the Education on Air with us. I hope you had some very good information. We will be sending this video so you can share it with your friends. We will also keep you informed of the next webinar within a few weeks. The topic for the next webinar is local search for accountants, search engine optimization, and Google Places. Thank you again and have a good day.
Thank you, Thelini, and thank you everyone for taking the time to attend this webinar.